Open your freezer and leave your hand inside. After a few seconds, your fingers start to hurt. Your skin panics before your brain does. Now imagine there is no door to close. The freezer is the air around you, the ground beneath you, the wind hitting your face before sunrise, and behind you there is no warm kitchen, no heater, no jacket from a store, no house glowing with light, just a frozen world and a human body that was never built for it. This was the Ice Age. Around 20,000 years ago, Earth looked almost alien. Giant ice sheets covered huge parts of the north. Sea levels were hundreds of feet lower because so much water was trapped inside glaciers. Places that are ocean today were dry land. Places that are forests today were cold open plains. It was not just winter, it was a different Earth. And walking across it was a soft animal with thin skin, weak teeth, no claws, no fur, and babies so helpless they could not even lift their own heads. That animal was us. A wolf already had its coat. A mammoth carried warmth on its body. A cave bear could sleep through the worst months of the year. Humans had to make what nature refused to give them: clothing, shelter, weapons, fire, food. All of it had to be made by hand, and in that world, one small mistake could turn deadly fast. Wet clothing could freeze against your skin, a gap in a sleeve could steal body heat all night, and if the fire went out during the wrong storm, the cold did not wait until morning. Today, cold is something you complain about on the way to your car. Back then, cold was a predator. So, one of the most important Ice Age inventions was not a giant weapon, it was a needle, a tiny piece of bone with a hole carved through it. It looks harmless now, but in a frozen world, that little needle changed everything. Throwing an animal hide over your shoulders was not enough. Loose fur slipped, snow got inside, wind crawled underneath. A stitched sleeve held warmth. A fitted hood protected the ears. Tight boots kept toes alive. That needle turned dead animals into a second skin. The hide became a coat, the sinew became thread, the fur became insulation, and humans survived by wearing the animals that should have outlasted them. That is the real secret of our species. We were not the strongest animal in the Ice Age. We were the animal that cheated. A mammoth grew fur. A human took the fur, ate the fat, carved the bones, burned the grease, and built shelter from what was left. Nothing could be wasted because waste was death. Today, you throw away leftovers because they look a little dry. Ice Age people cracked bones open because the fat inside could keep a child alive. Modern people treat fat like something to avoid. To them, fat was heat. It was fuel. It was the difference between walking through snow and lying down in it. A mouthful of marrow, a strip of animal grease, the soft tissue inside a skull. These were not disgusting. They were treasure. Your body still remembers this. That is why rich food feels so good. Buttermeat, cheese, sugar, fried food, all of it hits something ancient in your brain. Your body does not know you live near a grocery store. It still thinks winter is coming. But in the Ice Age, food was not sitting behind a door. It ran away. It hid underground. It froze solid. Sometimes it fought back. A mammoth could feed a group for weeks, but getting close to one was almost insane. One charge could crush a person into the snow. A wounded bison could tear someone open. A cave lion could watch the same herd you were watching and decide you were the easier meal. So, humans had to see what the rest of us would miss. A footprint in snow was not just a footprint. It was a message. Was the animal alone? Was it limping? Was the herd moving fast because something scared it? Frozen dung, broken branches, birds circling in the distance, a smell in the wind, all of it mattered. You and I would see snow. They saw information. Drop a modern person into that world and they could starve in a place full of food, not because there was nothing to eat, but because they would not know how to see it. Ice Age survival was built on memory. People had to remember where herds crossed, where rivers froze, where caves stayed dry, where flint could be found, and which valleys became traps after storms. An old person was not just old. They were a living map. They carried routes, warnings, medicine, weather signs, hunting stories, and mistakes the group could not afford to repeat. Losing someone like that did not just hurt emotionally. It made everyone less safe. Because survival was not stored in books. It was stored in people. That is why the Ice Age was not survived by lone warriors. Alone, a human was easy to kill. In a group, humans became dangerous. One person could track while another shaped stone. One could sew while another watched children. One could turn a deadly mistake into a story so nobody made it again. A story was not just entertainment. It was a warning with a heartbeat. Do not cross that river too early. Do not sleep where the bears sleep. Do not follow the herd into that valley after heavy snow. The people who listened lived longer. The people who forgot became part of the ground. And when a hunt finally worked, the danger did not end. The meat had to be cut before predators smelled it. The hide had to come off before it froze. Stiff fat had to be saved. Bones had to be cracked, and the best pieces had to be carried back before darkness swallowed the land. A modern person sees a carcass and feels disgust. An Ice Age human saw coats, meals, tools, shelter, and children surviving the next storm. In places where trees were rare, humans even built homes from mammoth bones. Skulls were set into the ground. Long bones became walls. Tusks curved over the frame like giant ribs. Hides covered the outside to block the wind. A house made from the dead. Inside, people sat close while smoke burned their eyes. Meat dried near the fire. Someone repaired a hide. Someone sharpened stone. A child chewed something tough and greasy. To us, it sounds miserable. To them, it was safety. Comfort meant the wind stayed out, the food lasted, and the fire was still alive in the morning. And somehow, these same people made art. They were freezing, hungry, and surrounded by animals that could kill them. Still, they walked deep into caves and painted mammoths, horses, bison, lions, and human hands on stone walls. The difference is that their world punished weakness immediately. If they failed to prepare, winter found them. If they failed to cooperate, hunger found them. If they failed to learn, the cold taught the lesson once. So how did ancient humans survive when the world froze? Not by being stronger, not by being faster. They survived because they could imagine danger before it arrived. They could look at a warm day and prepare for snow. Look at a bone and see a needle. Look at a dead mammoth and see a house. Look at a child and pass down knowledge that might keep them alive years later. Eventually, the ice pulled back. Forests returned, seas rose, some animals disappeared forever. But the instincts stayed. You still search for warmth. You still crave rich food. You still feel safer around other people. You still gather around glowing light at night. Only now the glow comes from a screen instead of a fire. Your body is modern, but the program inside it is ancient. It was written by hunger, snow, dead fires, frozen hands, and families sleeping under hides while something circled outside in the dark. And now you live in the world they would not believe. Heat from a wall, water from a tap, food behind a door, light from a switch, and a bed raised off the ground covered in soft blankets inside a room where the wind cannot touch you. To you, that is normal. To them, it would look like magic. If an Ice Age human walked into your kitchen, they might think they had entered the home of a god. But if you stepped into their world, you might not last a week. Not because they were stronger animals. Because they knew how to survive a world that wanted humans gone. The Ice Age gave our species one choice: adapt or vanish. So we stole fur-protected fire, turned bones into tools, turned stories into memory, and turned dead giants into shelter. Night after night, in a frozen world that should have erased us, humans found a way to wake up again. That is how ancient humans survived when the world froze.